This story happened a long time ago. Long time ago, in the Ming dynasty, there was a village called Lolo. Living in this village, a well-known landowner named Baldu Bayan had an extremely rich home life. When he was middle-aged, his son was born. His son, after having come to the age of 15, one day took the home servants with him and went to hunt at Henklang-shan mountain. But on the way he had fallen ill and died. After that, worrying about the loss of their descendant, the landowner and his wife devoted themselves to doing good. They built and repaired shrines. They supported poor people, took care of orphans, and saved widows. And when their good deeds became known, heaven above pitied them. And having just barely given birth to a son at the age of 50, they rejoiced greatly. They named him, born at 50, Sigurdai Fyanga, and cherished him like a precious pearl, bringing him up without letting him out of their sight. Having reached the age of 15, one day suddenly Sigurdai Fyanga came to his parents and asked, "I would like to go hunting to verify my archery skills. What is your opinion about that, father?" Father said, "We had a son before you who, after having come to the age of 15, went to hunt at Henklang-shan mountain and died. I think you'd better not go." Sigurdai Fyanga said, "For a person being born to this world as a man, where can't he go? Will he be watching his home forever? Death and life cannot rescue the destiny that each individual brings with him." The landowner couldn't do anything else but agree. He said, "If you want to go hunting, then go, but take Ahalji and Bahalji with you. Don't take much time. Be very cautious and come back quickly. Don't fail my expectations." Sigurdai Fyanga answered, "Yes, my father," and immediately called Ahalji and the other servants and ordered them, "Tomorrow we are leaving for the hunt. Arrange the men, horses, saddles, and other things. Prepare bows and arrows and other weapons. Put a tent on a chariot. Feed well and prepare our hogs and stripped retrievers." Ahalji and Bahalji answered, "Yes, sir," and they hurried to make the preparations. The following day, Sigurdai Fyanga, as is customary, kowtowed before his parents. Then he sat on his white horse and ordered Ahalji and the other servants to follow him. All the hunters rode fast, whipping their horses to increase speed, and in no time they reached the mountain, which is famous among hunters. Then they pitched a camp, dug a hole for a fire, and placed a cauldron over it. Sigurdai Fyanga left the cook preparing meal and took all the servants with him and ordered Ahalji and Bahalji, "Let's spread out the battle line around the mountain and hunt." Having spread out the battle line, the archers were shooting, the spearmen were spearing with the spears, and falcons and retrievers were released. Not one beast, bird, or other animal escaped them. When they were hunting with great pleasure, Sigurdai suddenly frosted all over. Immediately he said to Ahalji and Bahalji, "Hurry up and call in all the hunters. I am not feeling well." Startled, they hurried and called in the other hunters. They went into a tent, put their master there, and lit a fire to make him sweat out his illness. He sweated profusely, but could not handle the heat, and could not sweat it out. The servants chopped down a mountain tree and constructed a sedan chair out of it. They placed their master on the sedan, and taking turns, rushed towards home. Crying, Sigurdai Fyanga said, "I am in pain. As you can see, my condition is very serious. How will we manage to reach home? I don't think we will make it." Ahalji, Bahalji, one of you brothers, rush home and deliver a message to my father and mother. Please convey my words clearly to them. I myself can't repay them for their love and support. Who knew that heaven would destroy me unexpectedly? My time has come and I will not be able to meet them face to face again. Here, before your eyes, I am dying early. All that destiny brings is firmly decided. Please, keep your laments for the proper time and convey my words clearly. He wanted to say something more, but he couldn't open his mouth. His jaws stiffened and no more words appeared. His chin lifted, his eyes stared, and he breathed his last. Ahalji took the 10 horsemen with him and rushed home. In no time they stood at the doors. He dismounted from his horse and went into the house. He knelt before the old landowner, but then he cried out loud. He could not pronounce one word. The old landowner grew impatient and scolded him. "Servant, what happened? You went hunting and now you came back crying. Why?" He stopped crying and kowtowed, saying, "Our master became ill and expired on the way. I came first to report the news. Our master has lost his life." The landowner listened to him. Those words sounded like thunder above his head. "My beloved son," he yelled and fell down facing upwards. The mother came in hastily. She listened to Ahalji's reply, and it paralyzed her like lightning. "My son," she shouted, and fell down fainting right on the top of her husband. Those who came to the house and heard the message cried all together. Hearing these crying voices, all the villagers gathered together. When they were crying at the top of their voices, Bahalji came in crying. He kowtowed before the old landowner and said, "I brought the younger master's corpse." The landowner, his wife, and all the villagers came before the doors to welcome the master's corpse. They carried it into the house, put it on the bed, and surrounded it. Having cried, the people advised them, "Our Lord and Lady, why are you crying so much? Is there a way to revive the dead with your tears? A coffin and other things should be prepared." Then the landlord and his wife stopped and said, "You are most right. Also, it is so. I can't accept it in my heart, and I miss and cherish my beloved bright son, even though he is dead. Also, to whom will I leave my noble property? He called Ahalji and Bahalji and ordered them. These servants, prepare the 7 things for the offering. Lead the horses, prepare the storehouses, and all the other things for your master. Don't skimp on anything. Ahalji and Bahalji ceased their crying and went to obey the order. Before long, all the people were carrying and placing the goods in the yard, filling it up piece by piece. When one watched the mess, it looked like a high crack. Several kings of meat were stacked up like a mountain. A sea of liquor was poured. Fruits and pastries were lined up. The treasuries were filled with gold, silver, paper money, and other precious things. All the people were sprinkling liquor around and crying. At that time, a hunchback appeared at the gate. The old decrepit man made a bow and said, "You who guard the gate, brothers, listen to me. Please go to your lord and tell him that there is an old decrepit man standing outside the gate who would like to pay him a visit. It crossed my mind that I could burn some paper." When the guards went in and conveyed his message to Baldobayan, the landowner said, "How pitiful! Quickly, let him in. May he eat the mountains of meat and pastry the young master left over. May he drink a sea of liquor." The old man came in and passed by the meat, pastries, liquors, and other foods without even looking at them. He went straight to the young master's coffin, leaned his hands against it, and jumping, he cried in high voice, He angrily struck the palms of his hands. Crying desperately, he brought all the people around him to tears. Reproaching, he said, "Wealthy friend, you are so quickly sending off your son Sigurdai Fyanga. If there is a mighty shaman somewhere, why don't you bring him to revive the young master?" The landlord said, "But where is a good shaman? In our village are 3 or 4 shamans. They are all shamans who fool the people out of their food. They only make offering from a splash of a liqueur, a chicken, and a bit of bread. I beg you, old man, if you know about a mighty shaman, please, let me know." The old man said, "My wealthy friend, how do you not know? Not far from this place, living on the bank on the Nisihai River, is Teteke, a famous lady shaman. This shaman, her power is great. She can revive a dead person. Why not go and look for her? If that shaman comes, she can immediately revive not only one Sigurdai Fyanga, but even 10 Sigurdais. Go quickly and look for her." Having said that, the old man slowly went out of the huge gate. He sat on a 5-colored cloud, and the guards saw him askant. After that, Baldobayan rejoiced and said, "It was definitely a god who came to guide me." Baldubayan sat on a fast-legged grey horse with white hoofs and ordered a home servant to follow him. The galloping did not last long, and they came to the banks of the Nisihai river. He could see there was a small house on the eastern bank of the river. Baldubayan looked, and outside, a young lady was hanging washed clothes on a railing to dry them in the sun. Baldubayan approached and asked, "Young lady, please, tell me where the house of the Nisan Shaman is." Smiling cheerfully, the woman pointed and said, "It is on the western bank." On hearing these words, the landlord mounted his horse and went. He looked around and saw a man standing in the yard. Baldubayan dismounted from his horse, came near and asked, "My friend, this is the house of the Nisan Shaman, is it not? Please tell me truly." The man said, "On the east side. You just ask the woman who was handing her wash out to dry. She is the shaman." Baldubayan thanked the man, mounted his horse, and galloped back to the eastern bank. He dismounted from his horse and went into the house, and he saw an old, white-haired woman seated on the southern camp. A young woman was standing by the stove door and smoking. The landlord thought, "The old woman sitting on the camp surely is the shaman," and knelt down on the ground before her. Upon his begging, the old woman said, "I am not a shaman. My daughter-in-law who is standing by the stove, she is the shaman." Then Baldubayan stood up, knelt before the young lady and asked, "Shaman lady, your great fame has spread. Your name has excelled, putting others to shame. Please, it is because you are above and beyond scores of shamans that I came to ask you to examine my son's disease." She said, "Since it is your first time coming, let me see. If it were another person, I surely would not divine." She washed her face and eyes, arranged the incense table, threw round gold stones into the water, and placed a seat in the middle of the room. She took the drum in her right hand, grasped the elm wood drumstick with her left hand, and sat on the seat, making circles with the drum and beating it. She began her invocation, chanting Hobage in beautiful voice, repeating Deyanku in a high voice, and mumbling, she chanted her invocation. She caused a spirit to enter her. Baldubayan was kneeling on the ground and listening. The Nisan Shaman began to mumble, explaining in these words.
Hey,
Baodubayan, kowtowing again and again, said, "Everything told during the rite was correct." After that, the shaman grasped the incense and stood up. Coming out of her trance, she gathered the drum, the drumstick, and the other things. The Nisan Shaman said to Baodubayan, "At your home, there is a dog born on the same day as your son, a 3-year-old rooster, and fermented bean paste. If I foretold right, tell me it is so." He answered, "It is true. What you saw is right. You are a powerful shaman." Baodubayan knelt and, kowtowing in distress, he cried, "Please, shaman lady, if you bring my son back to life, I will divide my gold, silver, many-colored fabrics, geldings, cattle and sheep, and other goods, and I will give 1/2 of them to you as repayment for your mercy." The Nisan Shaman could do nothing about it and said, "Stand up, my wealthy friend. I shall go and see only once. Do not rejoice even if I am lucky. Do not be angry even if I fail. Do you understand what I said?" Baodubayan offered her a filled pipe of tobacco, went out the door. He rushed home and called Akhalji and Bakhalji. "Hurry up, prepare a sedan chair, chariot, horses, and other things, and go and get the shaman." They came to the house of the Nisan Shaman on the bank of the Nisiha River. They divided her spirit placings, chests, and other things, and put them on 3 chariots. The shaman sat on the sedan chair, and 8 youths raised it, and, as if flying, they came to the landlord's house in no time. Baodubayan greeted and admitted the guest, arranged the spirit placings and chests in the middle of the great can, washed his face and eyes, lit incense, and kowtowed 3 times. After that, the shaman washed her face and prepared. She wiped her face with a wet towel and prepared her drum. Mumbling, she summoned the spirit. 3 or 4 shamans from the village beat their drums trying to follow her, but they could not fit the rhythm. The Nisan Shaman said, "If it is so uneven, how can I go to the underworld?" The landlord answered, "Truly, there are no skilled people in our village. If you had an assistant before, tell me, and he will be brought." The Nisan Shaman said, "There is one, Fyanga, 70 years old, living in my village. This man submits to me completely. If he comes, I will not worry." Then the landlord ordered Akhalji to mount 1 horse and hurried to lead another horse to go and get Master Fyanga. Soon they arrived and dismounted from their horses. The Nisan Shaman saw him, and laughing, she said, "My young brother, Fyanga, my assistant, listen. Join your elder sister and help me with your beautiful voice. Then Fyanga said, laughing, Powerful, strange Nisan Shaman, I, your younger brother, know, and do not need much teaching. He sat on the king, prepared tea and a meal, and having finished he then joined in with striking his drum. The Nisan Shaman put on the monster's clothes, the belt with bells, and the skirt, and having tied them up, put the crown with 9 birds on her head. Her slender body slithered like a trembling willow. Following the melody, she shook in a great voice. She was thrown, became dazed, and fell down. Then Nari Fyanga put her to rest, put her belt and skirt straight, tied the rooster and the dog, and arranged the bean paste, the paper, and other things. He set himself next to the shaman and moved and guided the spirit. With guiding words, Nari Fyanga raised the drum and began intoning this chant. The Nisan Shaman led the rooster and the dog and put the bean paste and paper on her shoulders. All the spirits surrounded her and followed her. They moved towards the land of the dead to beg Ilmun Han. While they were going, beast spirits galloped, bird spirits flew, and snake spirits slithered. Quick as a whirlwind, they came to the banks of the river. Looking around, there was no place to cross the river. She could see neither a fort nor a boat. When she started growing anxious, watching the other side, she saw a man coming across the river, pulling a boat. When she saw him, she shouted. The lame rock listened to her, and rowing half a boat with a half an oar, he came to the bank. The Nisan Shaman saw that one of his eyes was blind, his nose was crooked, his ears torn, his head bowed, his legs lame, and his hands twisted. When he came near, he said, "Is that you, shamaness? If it were another person, I surely would not ferry them. By rights, this time, it is the will of heaven from which your wise name comes forth. There is nothing I can do about it. I will ferry you." The Nisan Shaman got in the boat. The lame ruffian punted with his pole, rowed with his oar, and ferried her to the other bank. Then the Nisan Shaman thanked him, saying, "Please, accept these 3 lumps of bean paste and 3 strips of paper as a little token." She also asked him, "Haven't any other people gone by this ferry?" The lame ruffian said, "No, no other people have gone. But a relative of the Lord, Sigurdai was passing by carrying the soul of Baodubayan's son, Sigurdai Fyanga." The Nisan Shaman thanked him and set out. The going did not last long, and she came to the banks of the Red River. Looking around, there was neither fort nor ferry boat. Not even the shadow of a person could be seen. She began her incantation to beseech the spirit. The shaman threw her drum onto the river water and stood on top of it. Like a whirlwind, she crossed the river in a moment. She left 3 lumps of the pin paste and 3 strips of paper as a fee for the lord of the river. The Nisan Shaman immediately set out and quickly reached the main gate. When she wanted to pass, 2 ghosts guarding the gate, iron and blood, shrieking at her, said, "What kind of person fiercely wants to pass the gate? We guard this gate, fulfilling Ilmun Han's will. Quickly, tell us your reason." The Nisan Shaman said, "I am the Nisan Shaman from the country of the living. I came to the country of the dead to look for Sigurdai Fyanga." The 2 ghosts said, "If so, you have to leave your name and a fee according to the admission custom. Then you may enter." The Nisan Shaman gave them a strip of paper with her name written on it, 3 lumps of the bean paste and 3 strips of paper. Then she passed through the gate. Going on, she came to a second gateway. As before, she left her name, a fee, and the other things. Passing through that, she came to the third gateway, the door of Sigurdai Fyanga. Shaking the bells on her belt and jingling the smaller bells, she chanted Hoge Yage in a beautiful voice. The Nisan Shaman shook her belt with bells, shook her cap, and jingled the small bells. She made her voice clank like metal on metal. Then Sigurdai Fyanga came out laughing and said, "Nisan Shaman, listen carefully. It is true that I have brought Baldubayan's son, Sigurdai Fyanga, here. But what does that have to do with you? What things have I stolen from your house, that you come to my gate and reprove me in a high scolding voice? The Nisan Shaman said, "Also, you have not stolen anything of mine. How could you take the good life of an innocent person whose destiny was not completed?" Sigurdai said, "It was Ilmun Han's will to bring him here. When I brought the boy here, he was put to test by suspending a golden coin on a high mast. When he shot at the little hole in the coin, all 3 arrows struck the target. After that, he was put to another test. When ordered him to wrestle with the blue wrestler, he knocked him down. Still more, when ordered to wrestle with the lion wrestler, he also could not cope with him. Then our Ilmun Han made him a son and suffers him with love. Is there such a law that he must give him back to you?" Having listened to these words, the Nisan Shaman flew into rage and said, "If it is so, you likely have nothing to do with it. You are a good man. With my capabilities, will I find Sigurdai Fyanga when I go look for Ilmun Han? If my powers are sufficient, then I will bring him back. If they are not, then it will be over. It has nothing at all to do with you." She went to look for the city of Ilmun Han and reached it in no time. But the gate was closed for protection. The Nisan Shaman could not enter. When she looked around, she saw that the city walls were firm and strong. She got very angry and began an incantation. When the shaman finished her incantation, all the spirits flew, rising like clouds and mist. Sigurdai Fyanga was playing with other boys, throwing golden and silver dice, when suddenly a large bird descended. It seized him and, soaring upward, took him away. Seeing this, all the other children became frightened and ran into their house. They told their father, the Khan. A bad thing happened. A big bird came and seized our big brother Sigurdai and took him away. Listening to this, Ilmun Han got very angry. He sent a ghost to bring Sigurdai Nakchu to him and scolded him, saying, "A large bird seized Sigurdai Fyanga, whom you had brought, and took him away. If this was your plan, I cannot agree to it. How will you deal with this matter for me?" Sigurdai Nakchu said, "My lord, do not be angry. I think it could have been no one else but the famous Nisan Shaman, who came from the land of the living to this country. I will immediately go to look for her. That shaman cannot be compared to any other." Then he set off to pursue her. The Nisan Shaman received Sigurdai. She took him by the hand and led him back. When they were on the way, Sigurdai Nakchu chased after her from north, shouting, "Shaman lady, wait a minute. Let us talk a little about principles. Is there a law that allows you to quietly take him?" Our Ilmun Han got angry and blamed me. How will I answer him now? Shaman lady, consider it calmly. I am only asking for a fee. Is that unreasonable? The Nisan Shaman said, "Sigurdai, if you beg me like this, I shall leave you a little fee. But who is going to fear you if you rely on your hand to act? Let us come to an agreement and finish this matter." She gave him 3 lumps of bean paste and 3 strips of paper. But Sigurdai asked for more. "The fee you gave is very small indeed. Please, give me a little more." Then the Nisan Shaman gave him 1 more portion, but he kept on asking for more. "Truly, I will not survive if I give my hand such a small repayment. Please, Shaman lady, give me the rooster and the dog you brought with you. I shall give them to Ilmun Han to avoid punishment. Since our Han has neither a hunting dog nor a rooster that crows at night, he will be glad. If this happens, firstly, Shaman lady, your matter will be complete, and secondly, I will avoid my punishment." The Nisan Shaman said, "That truly will be a benefit for both sides. But if you add to Sigurdai's lifespan, then I will leave both this dog and rooster for you and go." Sigurdai said, "Shaman lady, if you speak like this, then, looking at your face, I will give him 20 years of life more." The shaman said, "There is no benefit in taking him away." "Then I will add 50 years of life." "What is the benefit of taking him away when he is not yet wise and bright. Then I will give him 80 years more. There is no benefit in taking him away when he does not yet understand the affairs of the world. Then I will add 90 years of life. I cannot add more. From now on, Sigurdai will live 60 years without sickness and 100 years in affluence. May he raise 9 children. May he see 8 sons. May he live until the hair of his hand becomes white, until the teeth of his mouth become yellow, until his back bends, until his eyes grow dim, until his legs are frozen in their tracks. The Nisan Shaman thanked him, saying, Sigurdai Nakchu, if you speak out such wishes, then I will give you both, the dog and the rooster. Call the rooster saying Achshi, and call the dog saying Cheo. Sigurdai was very glad and thanked her. When he left, taking the rooster and the dog, he thought, I will try to call them and see what happens. He released them both, and when he called Achshi, Achshi, Cheo, Cheo, the rooster and the dog both turned around and ran after the Nisan Shaman. Startled, Sigurdai said, My life is over. He rushed to look for her. Gasping and panting, he begged her, Shaman lady, why do you make fun of me? Why did your rooster and dog turn and go back to you? Please do not deceive me. I cannot do without these 2 things. When the Han blames me, how will I be able to endure it? The Nisan Shaman laughed and said, I played a little joke on you. From now on, remember well how to call them. I will tell you. Call the rooster saying Gugu, and the dog saying Eri Eri. Then Sigurdai said, Lady, you made fun of me a little, but I broke out in sweet. When he called the rooster and the dog with the words the shaman told him, they both followed him, shaking their heads and tails. The Nisan Shaman took Sigurdai by hand. As she led him, they met her husband by the bath. He placed a cauldron full of oil over a sorghum fire to bring it to boil. When she saw this, she lost her temper. When he saw his wife, he gnashed his teeth brutally. And with hate, he said, Rising Nisan, you can bring all other people back to life. Would not you raise a take and revive your most beloved husband than this boy? I am here, waiting for you, boiling this cauldron full of oil purposely. Will you revive me or not? If you do not revive me, then I will not let you go. This cauldron is prepared for you. The Nisan Shaman chanted.
Lambe,
When she was begging, her husband ground his teeth with hate and said, "Rise, Nisan Shaman, wife, you listen. When I was alive, you called me wretched and shut your eyes, despising me so many times. Clearly, you know what is inside your heart. Not only that, you did only as you pleased. Whether you serve my mother well or not is only according to your whims. Don't you see it this way? Today, before you, I will settle 2 scores with you at once. Either you get into this cauldron of oil yourself, or I will throw you in. Decide quickly." The shaman's face turned red. She filled with anger and said, "Listen to me, beloved husband. Listen, dear husband. When you left, what did you leave me? You left nothing except a mother in poverty. I was only 12 years old. I could have made my own life and forgotten about her, but no, I felt sorry for her and stayed by her side, taking care of her as if I was her daughter. But I am seeing that death has taught you nothing." Nisan continued, as her husband was about to pounce on her. "So, you'd better go to that place where everyone is like you." And raising her hands to heaven, Nisan Shaman invoked the spirits. "Great crane that flies over the forests, snatch my husband with your claws and threw him in Elaguren, so that he'll not incarnate again in this world, but in another where everyone is as mean as he is." While she was chanting, a great crane came flying. Immediately, it seized him, and when the shaman saw it fly and threw her husband into Fengdu city. The Nisan Shaman led Sigurdai Fyanga by his hand, walking playfully as the wind, then flying like a whirlwind. As they were going, they saw a pavilion by the wayside. Clouds in 5 colors amassed around this most majestic and beautiful building. When the Nisan Shaman came close, she caught sight of 2 spirits in golden armor and helmets holding iron maces, and standing sentinel at the gate. She came closer and asked, "My friends, what place is this? Who is in here? Please tell me clearly." The spirits answered, "Living in this pavilion is Amosi Mama, she who makes the leaves sprout well and the roots spread well." The Nisan Shaman asked, "I would like to take advantage of my coming here by kowtowing before her. May I or may I not?" At this question, the gate spirits answered, "You may." Giving them 3 strips of paper and 3 lumps of bean paste, she thanked them and entered the pavilion. Having come to the second gate, she saw another 2 spirits in golden armor and helmets standing guard. When the Nisan Shaman went to enter the gate, the 2 spirits stopped her, railing at her. "What kind of person entered this gate so carelessly? Go back quickly. If you rush even a little, then we shall beat you." The Nisan Shaman said, "Great spirits, do not lose your temper. I am not an evil soul. I am the Nisan Shaman from the country of the living. I would like to visit and kowtow before the merciful Amosi Mama, since it is on my way." The 2 spirits said, "Since your heart is full of respect, enter, but quickly leave." On hearing these words, the Nisan Shaman thanked them with the same fee as before and went inside. The air in the tower was shrouded in colored haze, a mist that seemed to come from the censers carried by 2 beautifully attired women stationed at the doors of Amosi Mama's chambers. "Aren't you Nisan Shaman?" one of them asked. "The one who lives by the Nisihai River, in the land of the living?" "Yes, that's me," Nisan replied. "But who are you? I don't recognize you." "I was the wife of Nari Fyanga. I died of smallpox 2 years ago. We were neighbors." "Sure," Nisan exclaimed, recognizing her at last. "How could I forget you?" They ushered Nisan into a huge chamber. In the center was a white-haired old woman, and around her were thousands of assistants caring for thousands of babies. These were the souls of those who had yet to be born. Nisan addressed the old goddess, knelt before her, and prostrated herself 9 times. "Who are you that has dared to come to such a dangerous place?" Amosi Mama asked her. In the world of the living, I am known as Nisan Shaman, she said. I am going back to my world, but I did not want to live here without first greeting the Divine Grandmother. How could I forget about you? Amosimama wondered in surprise. When it was time for you to be born, you did not want to live. So I put the shaman's cap on your head and gave you the drum. And the fact is that I wanted you to come back here, so that I could teach you the consequences of doing right or wrong, so that you can teach this in the world of the living. Go for a ride with my maid. She'll show you everything. A woman led her out of the tower and showed her the great willow of the world, which unites the three worlds. It was full of leaves and flowers of 5 colors. Then she took her to another place, where there were all kinds of animals, birds, fish, insects, and many other kinds of creatures. This is where we give life to all living beings, the maid said. Then the woman took her to visit Elaguren from above, the place where the most wicked went before reincarnating in a world where everyone was like them. Nisan did not like what she saw there, and she felt sad for her husband, but she knew that was the way it had to be. Those who do not change their evil ways and do so much harm to others have to learn to change course. And they can only do so by suffering the evil deeds of others like them. She thought to herself. She was then taken to a court-like place, which was where Ilmun Han determined the fate of souls based on their past actions in the land of the living. After being shown all these things, the maid took her back to the goddess Amosimama. Now you know how things are, the goddess told her. Go and tell everyone about it. After receiving her blessings, Nisan Shaman continued on her way until she reached the river, where, once again, she climbed on her drum and flew across the waters that separated her from the land of the living. Nari Fyanga, who was still beating the drum, noticed that Nisan Shaman had returned. So, putting his drum aside, approached her and sprinkled water on her face. Still in a trance, Nisan Shaman recounted what had happened. Listen, everyone. Listen, Baldu Bayan, what I have to say. Garuda snatched your son from the fortress of Ilmun Han, who had taken him as his adopted son. Garuda brought Sigurdai to me, and I hid him like a tiny pebble in my ear. Now I'll return him to his body. I made a deal with Mongol Dainakchu, according to which your son will have 90 years added to his life. And he'll have 9 children. In exchange, Sigurdai has taken the dog and the rooster to give them to Ilmun Han as compensation for the loss of Sigurdai. I was also in the tower of the goddess Amosimama, and I prayed to her for Sigurdai, your son. The divine grandmother made them show me the consequences of good and bad actions in life, and I saw what happens to those who persist in doing evil. I felt sad for them because their destiny is very hard until they learn to walk the path of kindness. Even in a trance, she said nothing about her husband. Something deep within her prevented it, because she felt that her mother-in-law would have suffered horrible on learning of her son's fate. When she fell silent, Sigurdai Fyanga passed a juniper sprig over her, and Nisan Shaman finally woke up. With her shamaness fan, Nisan Shaman fanned Sigurdai's soul back into his body. And suddenly, the boy stirred and, on getting up, asked for water. "I've slept for a long time," the boy said after taking a few sips from a bowl. "I've had many dreams." Then they told him that they were not dreams, but that Nisan Shaman had brought him back from the underworld. Upon learning everything, he knelt before the shamaness and thanked her for what she had done. "You are truly an impressive shaman," said the father, Baldubayan, with tears in his eyes when he saw his son alive again. He took the cloak off his shoulders and placed it on Nisan Shaman's shoulders, and then offered her wine in a crystal goblet. Finally, he ordered that all his gold, silver, silks, and flocks be divided into 2 parts, and ensured that one of them be given to Nisan Shaman. "And now let's celebrate my son's return to life," exclaimed he, full of joy. And they all ate and drank wine until they got drunk.